Welcome to yet another beautiful episode of ITV. And on today's topic, we'll be discussing about artificial intelligence. This is not going to be the usual AI talk, not the usual tech savvy AI talk, but we'll be hearing from a leader. So today with us, we have Chathini Uduwana, country head and vice president at Typify Systems, the former Women in Tech Sri Lanka ambassador, and a leader who has spent years building teams, driving transformations, and helping people alongside technology. Chatini, a very warm welcome to you.
Hi.
So, how's it going? All good?
All good, yeah.
Before we move on to the main topic, the core topic of today's podcast, which is artificial intelligence, I'd like to ask you a little personal question, I would say. So, when we hear the big words, president, vice president, likewise, the image anyone will build on you would be someone who has figured out everything from day one itself. Do you agree with it?
No, not at all. Like from the day one itself, like we are still learning, right? And I think if you think you have figured it all, that's where I start failing, right? You can be like, complete all the degrees and you can have so many like years of experience or whatever, but still you are learning, right? So every day is a new thing. And the other thing, even like since we are going to talk about AI and all, maybe like you are very well competent with all the technological wise, right? But have you really figured it all?
No.
Today it's something else and tomorrow something else,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Right. So, when talking about your childhood, since you were a kid, were you into this tech? Or I mean, when did you realize you were born for this?
Okay, hold on. I never realized it like that. Okay. But it is like this, like I did the bioscience for my A
Oh,
levels.
right.
Okay. But just after completing my A levels, before even like we get results, and then I was just doing a little, like I think I have told this before as well. I was just doing this little Google search. Like after 10 years, how can I earn more money?
Okay.
That's it.
Right. So,
That is like the sort of very technical answer, I think, because like I knew where the demand will be in future, and then I started learning that. And luckily I liked it. Of course, like if I didn't like it, I would have changed it, of course. But I liked it.
so that was a self study, I would say.
Yes.
Right. Great. Okay. So, now it's pretty obvious, most companies they always try to adopt all these ongoing technologies, right? AI or whatnot. And I would say, I feel like sometimes companies do it because of the hype,
Yeah.
right? So how can you differentiate this genuine business value and the hype when it comes to artificial intelligence?
Yes, that's what I think as the top management of the organization, first of all, that can be in any domain, right? That can be tech or maybe some shipping, tourism, whatever. First of all, they need to actually ask these questions. Do we really need to go for AI? Because now the buzzword is AI. I
Mm.
think AI was there, but everyone got to know this with this chat GPT,
Mm.
honestly.
Agree.
So then, like now, the first question will be, even in whatever the meeting, like everyone will be asking, "Hey, so you guys are using AI?" And that's completely fine to say, "No, we are not," because there's nothing that we can get help with it, right? So the so for the so we need to do that. We need to get that understanding. So what are the business processes that we actually want to look into? And personally, I believe if there are repetitive tasks, so maybe I can help with. Okay. And then so what are the business processes that we can improve? And actually, can we measure the output by doing that? Otherwise, we will be just creating like, fancy dashboards and the complex workflows, and our staff will be figuring out, staff will be spending half of their time just to figure out like what I'm supposed to do now. So that is the human skill, first of all, coming from the top management, whether to do the exact requirement and like a kind of an have to get the understanding about what are the proper tools that we need to use and all. First of all, identify whether is there an actual requirement. If not, no point. Now all the like tools coming up with, even the I think with Microsoft Copilot is
Mm.
free,
Yeah.
and people are using ChatGPT, Claude, likewise, right? So but I think AI is more than just use that to write a letter.
Great. Yes.
Okay, so but if you are paying for a subscription, and if your staff is only using Claude for that, do we really want it? So you need to measure your outputs, and there should be actual business processes that you are getting the benefit out of it. And then all these things we need to have a better understanding about all these things before taking this decision whether we are going to do it or not. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now everyone talks about, upskilling, right?
Mm.
So what is actually upskilling from your point of view?
Okay, my point of view. This is I'm going to answer to this question in the software tech company base. Okay, so so here for us, it's like the software engineers. So that upskilling is, the prompt engineering and how to analyze and get all the data. Likewise, I think, but the like I don't know like how many software companies when compared to the other organizations. But I think the real question is when it comes to organizations, not that part. Okay, because we have the non-technical staff too,
Mm, yes.
right? In a tech company, that's very minimal, but the other in the other domain. So I think this upskilling that comes, you cannot shame anyone for not knowing how to write uh, a better prompt, right? So then, how to use AI, and then the how, like for an example, and the other thing, how to verify all these things. So if you are a domain expert, like we'll say like coming from I don't know like a engine like a civil engineering
Mhm.
perspective, so then like people get done all the house plans and all these
Yeah.
things through AI now.
Yeah.
But sometimes like those things are not really accurate, so
Mm.
who's going to verify that? So this upskilling is not only for the data verifications and the security and the prompt engineering, not only that, to the domain side as well. And the if you really want to do that, I think regardless, like I think the software engineers, they are in that sort of their nature of the job,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
But if this is a non-tech company, I think the management should be more focused on the training sessions and the kind of this the communication should be both ways,
Mm.
people who are giving the instructions to the AI, and actually people who are using AI. So people who are using AI are the non-technical people.
Mm. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that's a kind of a learning circle until you get up to a certain speed.
So, do you believe companies are able to provide this particular learning to the non technical people?
Yes.
In terms of what? How?
Okay, it's like this. If I have an admin staff, okay, um, so it is like, so I know I know for a fact that that person is not, he or she doesn't have this certain level of skills, right? So it's just a matter of like, time just to send like a Coursera link or
Mm.
Udemy link or something. Can you please try it out? Those are very simple things. We don't have to organize these training sessions and get an expensive trainer to go through like Claude and everything, right? But first of all, like you just have to, and then like this trial and error
Mm.
method, you just have to be very open about, look, you can learn this, and this is just to ease your work, not to complicate your work.
Yes.
You can easily get rid of your repetitive task and just try it out first. Anyway, when you are introducing a new technology, anyway people are scared,
Yeah, definitely.
right? So why are they scared? First of all, because
because
they
it's
think
new.
that new
Yeah.
and they think I'm replaceable,
Mm.
right? And I believe AI, it won't be replacing your job, but it will be redirecting it to something else. It will be regenerating new jobs. Okay, so and as the management, we need to have like honest discussion with these things, right? The communication is really important on these things, and just to make sure that this is not that like AI is going to replace you after a week or so. This is just to, this training and all this communication and all these things are there to help you with the job. I think in that way we can get the maximum benefit from the AI as well as from the staff.
Right. So, everyone is basically focused on looking at the good side of AI. But I believe there is, for anything, there's ambiguity. There's a good side and a bad side. So, what are the threats? What are the immediate threats that you see in artificial intelligence?
First of all, I'm very tech pro, so okay. And the threats, as far as I can say, first of all, the security,
Mm.
the and the lot of organizations still are using a lot of free versions.
Yes.
So, so these things anyway, like what I believe is, if something is free in the internet, you're not safe.
Yeah.
Okay, even though it's paid, you're not safe.
Yeah.
But when compare the risk, that's what I believe.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
and the other thing, the other risk I'm seeing, it's not the technical risk, it's something like the human risk, because people are using AI for the all the unwanted things. Okay, even like when I like sometimes I watch TikTok,
Hmm.
and it's really funny the things that especially the Sri Lankan community that they do using AI. Sometimes I feel like, oh my goodness, like these things will be more expensive.
Yes.
Right, because we can do like a lot of good things, and it's not like, I think most of the general public is using AI for the at this time, using for the entertainment
Mm.
purposes, right? I think these are the risks that I see, uh, because the technical perspective, it's energy, all these things, why are we wasting for this? Up to like certain level, yes, of course, but we can do better things. And the even for the education and all, we can really utilize it.
Yeah.
Risk wise, actually, the another thing now, since like I'm like little bit involved with the education
Hmm.
industry, so people are actually worried that especially the university, the tertiary education wise, like people are thinking whether the students are using AI to write research papers and
You're
all.
right. Yeah.
But again, I think it's not a risk, even though you can write all these things, but you cannot answer it to the
Mm.
questions. And at the same time, there are like, if someone has used AI to write their any assignment or anything, there are other tools that
Can detect
can
it.
detect, right? So if like a lot of people that say that, but they don't have that understanding and the knowledge that we can find it out. So
Right.
that information.
Yes.
So that's why like these are the risk actually. So people don't read much, they just like go for the buzzword,
Hmm.
and they only go for that, and they don't cross question, if I do this, can you find it out, right? I think this lack of awareness is the other risk, as I conclude this.
Right. Okay. So now, having said that, you are into the education
Hmm.
background. You're into that as well, right? So, do you think children, students, I would say specifically university
Yeah.
students, do they actually take the maximum benefit out of artificial intelligence? In my
No.
case, I do,
Yeah,
but
even I do.
but
But
all in all, what
no,
is your perspective on it?
no, not at all.
Why? Why do you say that?
uh because again, like lack of awareness, because I teach to university students like how to use AI in their research, and these are postgraduate students, okay?
Right.
So, and I'm not happy about the questions, and like so far their understanding. It's very, no, it's very primitive actually. So why, again, why? Because like if one, like people think that AI is chat GPT. Okay. And okay, and recently I, from students, okay, so like when you search chat GPT, there are like lot of apps
Hmm.
comes under chat GPT.
Yes.
And like when I ask, like, is that the open AI, like what is that? So imagine the level of knowledge, and like, do they really want to find it out? And some people, lot of students, they consider AI as another search engine.
Yeah.
So there's a long way to go. And the other thing, so people think, and the that's the same way of understanding, so they think like, just uh, okay, is the common understanding is you just ask ChatGPT to ask them to write something, and then they copy this paragraph, okay, and get quillbot to something to
Hmm.
humanize it,
Yes.
and then paste it, right? But what they actually can do is they can just ask, this is my assignment, this is the research problem, can you please give the scope, can you please give the limitations, and or the document order, without getting that help. And there are like the other lot of AI, even like what I'm using, I used to summarize my research
Hmm.
papers,
Yes. Yeah.
okay, and I generate all the excels likewise, okay. But no one taught me how to do that,
Hmm.
right? So but the I think the in the Sri Lankan perspective, the common understanding is ChatGPT can do everything,
In
okay.
reality, it can't. So you have been working as the Sri Lankan ambassador when it comes to women in tech, right? Now, when talking about that, so why do you find it important for a woman, for a lady, for a
Mm.
girl to come into this industry? Like, why do you see, I mean, most of the time it's always the males dominating in this industry, but I see you're a girl, you're a lady. So why do you think it's important for girls, for ladies also to come into this industry?
First of all, now think of all the stats and everything these days. Our highest number of graduates are female.
Mm.
All the prize winners and everyone is female. But if you get the industry, any other, like, the working people in this country, those are male, right? So these days, I'm not saying like people just to come to the tech industry, just do something else, do any other industry, just work. Okay. That's what I'm saying
Yeah.
for the young girls out there, because you are getting free education. Like if you go to state university, it's free education.
Yes, definitely.
If you don't work, we don't get the return on investment, first of all, and you already ruin someone else's chance,
Yeah.
regardless of the gender. That can be a girl, boy, or whatever. You already ruined someone else's chance, because the university admission is highly competitive in this country, and we are a poor country. So forget about the tech. Okay, just be like, maybe it's like so frightening, and like maybe you are scared and all. Just like be a teacher at least. Okay. But in this industry, I'll tell you, actually, like again, even in the tech faculties, the highest number of graduates are female. But with like given the all, I think most organizations are giving the flexible work and the daycare
Mm.
or work
Yeah.
from anywhere, all these
Yes.
things. I don't know, like that was a now, like with the modern research, I would say like millennials will be the last working generation. I think so. Okay, because now stats are going to the other side,
Mm.
and like I hope you guys are very well aware this trad wife concepts and all now, because even in Western countries, people are getting back to the traditional wife where you cook, where you only thing you do is cooking. Okay, so these things, if you want this vintage lifestyle again, I think like that's where in Sri Lanka is going. People are just, and the software industry, you will be remaining in the industry if you only like it.
Mm. Yeah.
Otherwise you can't even survive. But there are a lot of streams. You don't have to necessarily to code. It's like
Mm. True.
software engineering or software, this whole tech industry is more than coding, right? And like coding is not the highest paying job here.
True.
But again, that's what I'm saying. What I see more commonly, actually, people are not reading. People don't just like, if they can run all the prompt in chat gpt, but they can't do a simple google search and educate themselves before taking all the decisions about their lives, right? So for the younger generation, I'm saying whatever it is, or like the other thing, now we promote all the entrepreneurship and all,
Yeah.
but for me, how I see it as, entrepreneurship doesn't mean that opening a little kade.
Mhm.
That's more to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just like, since like you have a degree and you have like, you have done all these academics and everything, just give it back. That is my message.
Right. Now, with that, we'll move on to a bit of a very rapid and fiery segment of today's podcast. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So, you have to answer as soon as possible, as
Okay, and
fast
one
as
word.
possible. Yeah, only one word. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, of course.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Most overrated business buzzword?
AI.
Exactly. One leadership skill everyone needs.
Communication.
AI tool you use the most.
Claude.
Remote or office?
Both. Hybrid.
That's not in the answer. If you have to pick one, what would it be?
Office.
Great. Any specific reason?
Because okay, there's a like long answer for that, but just cutting it short,
Yeah.
actually, for the experienced people, remote is fine. But for the younger generation, you can be a like good software engineer while working remotely, but you cannot be a good manager because you're not developing your
Communication
leadership
skills.
skills.
Right.
That's the reason.
True. Biggest productivity killer?
Social media.
Yeah. One word that defines leadership?
Decision making for me.
Right.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you?
Or having a very balanced lifestyle, you know, working anywhere, working from anywhere, just to have my favorite coffee, waking up at any time I want. Yes,
Agree.
flexibility.
Yes, flexibility. Right. So, moving back to our core segment, artificial intelligence, my final question to you. What specific advice, what strong advice would you give to a girl in general, a woman who is entering into the tech industry?
Okay, I'll just like, if I'm combining that with AI, first of
Yes.
all, even for a software engineer, whoever, uh, AI is, that will be changing again the approaches, because that's how tech has been all the time. But my advice is, but the core human skill of leadership, that won't be changing. So leadership uh, will be directing how AI will go. So these only like now lot of people, lot of girls and like lot of boys or whatever, now they are more focused on to getting only the AI skills.
Right.
But that will not take you anywhere rather than just work as a code monkey, you know. So then if you really want to make a change and if you want to create your own legacy, you should focus on the human skills. Because anyway, even though AI is there, who would take the decisions?
Humans.
Humans, right? And like, I have heard all the discussions. Some people are really worried that AI will be taking over the world and like, what are we supposed to do, right? And I really cannot like explain, no, it's not really happening. You are the decision maker, but you have to have these certain skills. And if you only limit yourself in that framework, you're not going anywhere, right? And again, you need to pick what you want. If you're 100% comfortable just being a software engineer for the rest of your life, yes. As the management, yes, even we like this kind of people up to a certain number, and yes, that's completely fine. But if you want to change, change your lifestyle, and like then it's about the end goal.
Mm.
That's the, I think, like earlier you asked like how do you define success,
Yes.
and like I think first of all you need to think, how can I define my success, right? For someone that can be maybe only the money oriented, or maybe like just writing the best software program or the software solution.
Mm.
So first of all think what you want and then go for that. And for the in this industry, the skill set doesn't mean it's only technical stack. Of course, if you want to go up to the ladder, the management skills, the leadership skills are crucial, especially in the multinational organizations and all. You really cannot be successful otherwise. The bare minimum is not enough. So be curious all the time. And then like in modern days, we can change anything. Especially for a girl, if you are getting in the tech industry, even if you are getting into these startup communities, there are a lot of opportunities. I know that benefit is not out there for boys,
Mm-hmm.
but because of this limited number of women in this industry, you get like a lot of, maybe like you'll get highlight more, right?
Yeah,
So use
definitely.
it wisely then, right? Since you have the opportunity, use it. That is my advice.
So I have to say, I certainly realize something. It's
Mm,
probably not probably. It's definitely it's the curiosity in
mm.
you that helped you get to the position that you are right now. Is it right?
Yes, it is actually. And then the thanks to my parents, I had
Mm.
the opportunity to take my own decisions, like pick
Right.
the university and all what I want to do and all, right? So I'm glad that I picked what I like and then what I wanted, right?
Hmm.
So it is the curiosity, and then it is just like you can like these days you can find out anything, even like you don't need to have a formal education.
Yes.
You can you can like learn any new skill without even leaving the house. So we all should be able to use these things. And the whenever like you have free time, this is what I do whenever like I have free time.
Mm-hmm.
I just like now imagine like in office conversation, like if couple of people are talking about gardening, if I don't know anything, I just like Google and then
Mm-hmm.
like I start reading about it, and that is really interesting sometimes.
I think that's the sort of attitude that we have to develop. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
What we lack is also that. What we have to develop is also that.
yes.
So, with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much, Chathini, for joining with us today amidst your busy schedule.
Yes.
Any final thoughts, Chathini?
uh I'll be really happy if at least one person would get inspired from this. And thank you for the opportunity and all the best with cutting edge. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.